I'll tell you a little story I heard from my late father, Zechrona Levracha. He told me that he once asked the Rebbe, this is the Lubavitcher Rebbe, why he was involved in a particular issue that was very controversial and cost Chabad a lot of monetary losses and a lot of good connections that they had. It was one of those issues in Israel that the Rebbe was fighting for. And my father asked the Rebbe, it's not a Lubavitch Chabad issue. And my father told me that the Rebbe told him that the first story about the first Jewish leader, Moshe Rabbeinu, in the Chumash is this. Vayigdal Moshe grew up, Vayetze el Echav, he went out to his brothers. He could have stayed home, he could have stayed in the palace, but he didn't. He went out to his brothers. Vayarbe sivloisem, and he saw their pain. And the first story is he sees an Egyptian beating a Jew to death. He turns there, he turns there. He sees there's no man. He strikes the Egyptian, he kills him, he buries him in the sand, the Jew is saved. And everybody asks, what does it mean? He looked here, he looked there, and he saw there was no person. There were people. Because the next day, he discovered there was an informer who went to Parai and related the story. So there was somebody there. Rashi asked the question, and many others. So the Rebbe said as follows. Listen to this. Vayifin koi v'koi. He turned here, he turned there. Vayarki ein ish. And he saw there's no man who's going to stand up to the crime. Not that there was no physical man present. Kein ish. There's no person. Shtaken mensch. There's no man, as you say, be a man. There's no ish, there's no person, there's no leader who's going to stand up and do anything. People are watching Jews being hunted down, persecuted, beaten, and nobody says anything. At that moment, Moshe had to make a decision. Will I be like others who will remain silent? Or will I say to myself, because there's no man, I will be the man? We know what decision Moshe made, and that's what turned him into Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, my father told me he thought that this was uncharacteristic of the Rebbe to speak about himself this way. If anybody knows anything about the Rebbe, he never spoke this way. So as my father is thinking this, the Rebbe right away moves on and he says, and this is how my father-in-law lived. And he put it on his father-in-law. This is how the Rebbe Rayatz, how the previous Rebbe, this is the Shver, this is how this is not something I learned from Shver, this is what we learned from my father-in-law. So he didn't put it on himself, he put it on the Rebbe.